Did you guys know that there's a new humiliation ritual out there for American rappers who fell off? Now, rappers that are no longer relevant in the West go to Russia, perform there, and even make features with Russian artists. Meaning the worst Russian artists.
Hey, Pump, let's dance together.
Lil my shoe. Hey! Hey, hey!
Yes, this is actually happening right now, and if you guys know a thing or two, you might know that Russia, as a country, is kind of a pariah in the world right now. Since the start of the war with Ukraine in 2022, Russia has pretty much been sanctioned by everybody. Many Western brands and companies left Russia, and also, one of the biggest ones, arguably, is that now Western artists don't really go to Russia anymore. Well, I mean actual relevant artists. Because when it comes to rappers who fell off, plenty of them have visited Russia, including such legends as Lil Pump,
Little Pimp.
Smoke Perp.
You can move me on the motherfucking limelight, cause I really wanna blow pipes.
We also have the rapper Tyga.
I'm always ahead of the curve, like.
Yeah, that guy who's always ahead of the curve. Also, Desiigner. Remember that guy, the one who made the Panda song? Also, DaBaby, another person who killed his own career and is now hanging out in Russia. Offset of the Migos also visited Russia, and even Akon. So yes, quite an interesting array of characters. Now, obviously the most famous and actually relevant rapper that has recently visited Russia is Kanye West. I actually covered this on my channel when it happened, and it was an absolutely ridiculous visit. And even though there were actually rumors that Kanye might actually perform in Moscow, it never ended up happening because, as far as I understand, Kanye is now kind of almost low-key banned from Russia. Last time he visited, a pro-governmental, like pro-Putin organization reported him to the police. And even like Gosha Rubchinsky, the Russian designer, for example, decided to stop working with Kanye West after, you know, he called himself a Nazi. So yes, the perfect romance between Kanye and Russia didn't quite work out. But a lot of these artists are performing in Russia right now, despite the backlash and despite the sanctions and everything. And the reason is because for a lot of these artists, they actually would get a bigger crowd in Russia than they would get in the West. So for example, Tyga has already performed in Russia multiple times. He's actually visited Russia like already 3 times in 2025 or something. He performed at the CSKA Arena in Moscow, and apparently there were 14,000 people in attendance. That is insane. I mean... yeah, he was accompanied by some Russian rappers and stuff who did like the pre-show, whatever. You've shown me so much love, and I really value it. I value Russia. You've shown me so much love. Thank you, said Tyga to the journalist after his performance. And so what can I say? I mean, I love it for him, right? 14,000 people is big because I don't believe that Tyga would actually manage to get a 14,000 packed stadium in the US right now if he was to perform, so I love that for him, okay? I mean, look, I'm not even trying to hate, but let's be serious. Tyga, who out here is listening to Tyga, bro? Like, gun to your head, please name 5 Tyga songs right now. You cannot do it. It is not humanly possible, okay? But in Russia, a country that is starved for any rappers, he's a big star. And actually some great cringe came out of this Tyga visit to Russia.
It was nice, many people.
My name is Marco. I'm very famous in Russia, like in show business.
Okay.
And from today, I feel like I can be very famous in the world. I really dream one day to fit with you. Maybe in the future.
So, he's not making the feature with you, like, you can tell by his face, bro. So, just for context, this right here is a clip that went a little viral. Essentially, this lady right here is like some kind of new shitty singer from Russia called Margot. She's like some industry plant, basically, that they're desperately trying to make famous. And it's really not working because she's extremely unlikable and annoying. And she apparently ends up backstage with every single one of these rappers that goes to Russia, and they have to endure the cringe.
What do you think?
Yeah.
About video clip, you already talked about video clip.
Because you know, Russia and USA relationship is going up. Yeah. So it's good together in this way.
So this is Malevich. It's a Russian painter.
Okay. You know Malevich, yeah? Black Square. Maybe. One of the famous.
Very famous. So this is for you.
So yeah, he got some drip by, you know, I know who Malevich is, Tyga doesn't, but yeah, I mean, this is the shit that you have to deal with when you're a Western rapper on a humiliation ritual tour in Russia. And now guys, I'm gonna show you another victim of Margot, who also had to be with her backstage, and that is the legendary rapper Lil Pump. However, before we get into that, I would like to very quickly take some time to tell you guys about the sponsor of today's video, Exter. Exter creates this minimalist high-quality leather wallets that are also pretty much impossible to lose. I actually got sent this one right here, the Exter Wallet Pro. It's really nice and convenient. It has an open kind of design where it's very easy to push a button to see all of your cards. Some extra space in there on the side and also a nice little money clip to put your cash in. But by far my favorite feature about Exter is actually the Finder card right here, which actually can be used to locate your wallet in case you lose it. It is super easy to use and it's also compatible with the Apple Find My app. So yeah, absolutely loved using this Exter wallet right here, and if you guys would like to try it out for yourself, go over to the link down in the description. Exter is actually about to have a massive Labor Day sale, where from August 19th until September 16th, you can get up to 48% off of Exter wallets. And also, if you use my partner code NFKRZ at checkout, you also get 10 additional % off. So yeah, if you want a good trusty sleek wallet, make sure to check out Exter, and also a huge thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Now let's get right back into it.
Go, let's get it. Ooh, ooh, you, more dough. It's like, ooh, love my shoe. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, Pump, let's dance together. Woo!
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Go.
This is like, it's one of the worst things I've ever seen, dude. Like, yes, apparently, supposedly, this lady Margot managed to beg a feature out of Lil Pump or something, or for him to do some ad-libs on her song, so they were in a stew together, cooking up. Again, guys, humiliation ritual. There's no other way to describe this. But yeah, Lil Pump is also now an avid visitor of Russia. For example, this is the kind of, news we have now. Famous American rapper has confessed his love to Russia and pelmeni. The rapper Lil Pump has confessed his love to Russia and the Russians. Earlier, it's been reported that Lil Pump, together with different other American rappers, were listening to the anthem of Russia and the songs of Yaroslav Dronov, also known under the nickname Shaman. And also, they were shown the song Matushka Zemlya. So, again, guys, imagine you're a Lil Pump, you're just trying to get your you're just trying to smoke your joint in your green room or whatever, and then these fucking yokels from Eastern Europe, okay, come and show you their, like, shitty war criminal anthems, okay? Like, it is a humiliation ritual. Like, I feel so bad, bro. They force prisoners in Russia to listen to Shaman. Lil Pump was basically given, like, the Guantanamo Bay treatment here.
Вчера что-то записывал здесь, это так? Да. Ты можешь об этом рассказать?
Все было супер, мне понравилось.
Девушка очень милая, да? У нее приятные вайбы.
Да, да.
Вы этот трек летом выпускаете, да? Что думаешь?
Все так.
Очень круто.
Лето близко.
They're talking about the song together with that, stupid Russian singer. And also, yes, they do have like a rip-off of complex sneaker shopping in Russia now, so amazing. Oh, and also, how could we forget the legendary rapper Smoke Perp?
I'm a motherfucking stoner. I'm a motherfucking boner.
He's like Lil Pump's sidekick, so they actually visited Russia together, and Smoke Perp also performed in, Russia. I mean, I'm not surprised. Smoke Perp is now like touring in Bulgaria and shit, and like North Macedonia, so, I get it, bro. Cannot hate on a man's hustle, but like, that is how you know it's truly over, usually. And also, guys, speaking of another rapper who did a collaboration with a Russian artist, we have the man, the legend himself, Desiigner. You guys probably remember Desiigner, right? He blew up around 2016 with Panda. He was under Kanye's wing, he was working with like Good Music, Mike Dean and stuff like that. Actually, to be honest, I like Desiigner. He had some good songs, especially very early on in his career, but he kind of just faded away. He didn't release much stuff, he kind of disappeared for a few years and essentially fell off completely from the rap game. He got unsigned by Kanye. And yeah, Desiigner has also visited Russia and performed. And essentially what's going on right now is that my man is collabing with like Russian YouTube rappers. Desiigner featuring Jarachov, Russian Jordan, Alex and Team Anthem, whatever that is. Some kind of basketball team, I guess. And essentially, for some context, this guy right here, Jarachov, he's like kind of an OG Russian YouTuber turned musician. He made content like 10 years ago or more, probably. He essentially creates like Russian co-worker music. And he got Desiigner himself on a feature. Let's check it out, guys. I'm gonna try and have an open mind. Basically, he's just talking about balling or whatever, and he's calling himself the Russian Jordan. Right, so this is where the song ends for me, I think. Okay, let's hear him out. Right, so this fucking guy is also talking about being a Russian patriot now and shit, and like, yes bro, I definitely believe that you save your money in rubles. Because the ruble is of course the most trustworthy currency, right? And you're so patriotic. Basically, long story short, this fucking guy Jarakov, he's like a classic Russian influencer in the sense that he just, you know, decided to become a propaganda mouthpiece like all of them do. He used to sort of be anti-Putin and stuff vaguely at a certain point, but then he went on podcasts saying like, yeah, I used to be anti-Putin, but now I grew up and I became smart and I understand it's not so black and white. Like, yeah, of course. You didn't become smart, you dumb fuck. You just became a rich, like, complacent piece of shit who's just feeding off the system. We get it. But yeah, he's now talking about being a Russian patriot and shit. Let's hear out some more lyrics. I mean, guys, you can call me like a crazy, you know, anti-Putin snowflake right now, but like, those lyrics are not coincidental, right? We need only victory, only forwards. Like, it's clear what the fuck you're talking about. He's clearly trying to, you know, he's not saying he supports the war in Ukraine, he's not saying he's like supporting the army or something, but he is basically vaguely saying, Russia, strong, powerful, patriotism is good. I mean, this shit is just ass. I'm sorry. And even Desiigner, who has talent, cannot say this shit, okay? Especially when you have, like, NPC Z lyrics. And this is, by the way, the reason why I hate Russian rap as a whole right now. All Russian rap is like this right now, essentially, except for some. Russian rap right now, all these motherfuckers that are doing, like, opium style or, like, Detroit drill stuff. And pretty much every single Russian rapper right now is on this kind of, like, Russia strong kind of wave, you know? They're all talking about being Russian and shit and being cool. These studio gangsters, like OG Buddha type shit. They claim that, you know, they're bossed up, they don't care about anybody, they say whatever they want and they have crazy punchlines, and yet none of these studio gangsters will ever say a single bad word about the governments, about Vladimir Putin. They will never even mention the war slightly. Like, none of these issues exist in Russian hip-hop, right? Where hip-hop, of course, is supposed to be reflection of the real world and actually speak truth to power, right? I'm not saying everybody has to be Kendrick, but Russian rap is just full of conformist, like, soulless pieces of shit. And this is precisely what we're seeing here, even though this guy is like, he's not even a good Russian rapper. This is like co-worker Russian rap. And he's just trying to get viral from like spreading this pro-Russian message, I guess. And yeah, I mean, he did get 50k views in 3 months on a 4 million channel, so like, I guess it's just not going so well. Let's move on to our next patient, which is Offset from Migos. He's already performed in Russia before, but he was actually supposed to perform in Russia recently in June, and his concert actually got cancelled, supposedly because of the situation where flights were cancelled because of the escalation of the conflict between Iran and Israel. I'm so sad that because of these airplanes, I was not able to come to my show. This is crazy. I was so happy to go to Russia. So yeah, he wanted to come, but he didn't, and I guess, you know, looking at what's going on in Russian airports right now, we're literally like every single week now or something. The whole airport gets shut down, everything gets cancelled because of drone attacks. And you know, planes cannot fly out or land in Moscow or St. Petersburg, the biggest cities. Yeah, I mean, I do feel like right now, if Offset even tries to come back to Russia, he's gonna have a pretty hard time actually getting in because, you know, flying to Russia is just not a great experience right now. I wonder why. The next fallen off artist I'd like to mention is, of course, DaBaby. Let's go! You've probably heard of DaBaby, right? He had some hits, you know, he's had some bangers, I can't even lie. But yeah, he basically killed his own career. There was that one strange performance he did on some festival, right, I think, where he randomly started saying that, like, he doesn't like gay people and people with STDs and stuff like that, and that they should get the fuck out of this show, which was really strange and came out of nowhere, and I mean, he got pretty much cancelled by everybody after that, you know, he's like a blacklisted artist right now, kind of, and he was already fallen off even before that, to be fair, but here's another one of these great articles. A famous American rapper has been shocked by the way he was received in Moscow. The rapper DaBaby in Moscow was greeted by a folk ensemble and also was gifted a balalaika. The artist arrived to the Vnukovo airport, after which his team was met by a Russian folk singing ensemble with a bayan, and also he was given a gift of a designer balalaika. So once again, these fucking Eastern European yokels with their shit. Again, like, another humiliation ritual for a Western rapper. It's just so corny, dude. It's so fucking corny. This entire thing about famous Western rapper visits Russia? A country that is like priding itself on being anti-Western and not caring about the West is sucking off and glazing anybody who dares to go to Russia because nobody wants to. The irony is just incredible, guys. It's incredible. And also, little like today, as I'm recording this video, Akon is also supposed to perform in Russia. I cannot really hate on Akon, right? The guy has hits, has bangers, but yeah, like, he has obviously fallen off, of course. Akon is not like what's popping right now. And overall, he is just kind of a weirdo with his entire, like, like Akon City project and everything. He also collabed with like strange people like Vitaly ZDTV and shit. So, you know, I'm not surprised that Akon ended up going to Russia out of all places. So yeah, these are pretty much the artists that have visited Russia so far, and the real question that arises out of all of this is, why are they doing this? And I mean, the answer is pretty simple, is because they're getting paid money. And Russia has money, a lot of it, especially if that money is not going to their citizens and is going to, you know, propaganda. And apparently Russia is making a good enough offer to these people so that, you know, even enduring the terrible flights and everything is worth it. And having to fly through Turkey is worth it for these guys. And having these cringe Russian like influencers and singers trying to get clout from you, it's so bearable when you get that big Kremlin paycheck. In this article here, a head of a big concert booking firm in Russia gave his opinion, and he said, "It's not really fair to say that Western artists have started coming to us often. Sometimes only a few American rappers might come, but these people are more so renegades in those markets. These are people who don't have really big chances on the market of America or Western Europe. These people are hoping that in Russia they're gonna have a new resurgence of popularity, and that's why they come here. Plus, the organizers are giving them really interesting financial offers, which make it worth risking coming here and working with a sanctioned country." According to him, the organizers don't really make a lot of money on such concerts. I don't really think that the organizers get some sort of big profit. In order to invite an artist and so that he gets interested to come to a country that is sanctioned, you need to really give a good offer. And it means that all the possible profit that will be earned by the organizers is probably going to pay the artists. Yeah, essentially, as far as I understand, the artists are in it simply just for the check, and the concert organizers, I guess, they're into getting some sort of like prestige off of having worked with a foreign artist and stuff. But yeah, it's all really strange, but honestly, I think it does make a lot of sense in some way, because like I said, there's definitely an audience for this type of stuff in Russia, right? Russians really do want to see Western artists and Western rappers that they idolize, and most of them are just simply not coming because of the war, because of the sanctions and everything, because of some moral stances, right? And once again, no matter how much the Russian propaganda would like to say that we don't care about anything Western or whatever, we don't need you guys, they immediately start glazing anybody who dares to come to Russia and even says one positive word about the country. A lot of Russians really love Western hip-hop. What's actually quite interesting is that in Russia, we've always had quite of a big following for like American underground artists, specifically like hip-hop artists. For example, like Team Sesh, like Bones and Xavier Wolf. They have visited Russia multiple times and have performed in Russia. They always got like huge crowds of fans, because these guys were actually huge stars in Russia, probably for some reason maybe even more popular than in America at one point. And Bones, for example, he's shown love to the Russian community and Russian fans many times. He's like named songs in the Russian language and they've made references to Russia and so on. Bones also has at least one or a few music videos that were filmed in Russia too. Same goes for like Sad Boys, Young Lean, Drain Gang, Blade. They're absolutely huge in Russia, and they've also shown love back to the Russian fans. And the same thing goes for like Suicide Boys, for example. Lil Peep, he had a whole music video that was shot in Russia, for example, also visited Russia and so on, all these guys. So there's definitely always been rap fans in Russia, especially like underground rap fans in Russia. And I've had experience seeing some pretty cool artists in Russia as well. For example, in 2018, or was it 2019, I don't remember, I went to this festival in Moscow called Bol, or literally Pain, and the headliner of the festival was actually Death Grips, who are like one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band of all time. And yeah, they threw a show in Moscow. It was fucking crazy. It was packed. It was insane, dude. People were going insane. And it was like a surreal experience, right? Because right now, Death Grips are definitely not coming to Russia, right? And also at that same festival, I also saw Sophie, rest in peace, a famous trans artist performing in Russia, right? That's already crazy for these times that we currently exist in. So yeah, Russia did have interesting events and concerts, especially if you were like a person who lived in Moscow, St. Petersburg, and people really long for it really badly. You know, you cannot just listen to Shaman and fucking dog shit Russian rappers who are just copying everything from the West 24/7, right? You cannot just do that all the time. So that is why Tyga is selling out a 14,000 ticket venue in Moscow, okay? This is how starved the Russian people are, dude. And once again, I can only see this kind of boycott of Russia by the West as another epic win by the Russian government. Good job, guys. Good job, Vladimir Putin. Once again, you've made our country and our youth more like, you gave us way more opportunities and stuff, and you really helped us out. Thanks, guys. You're doing a great job, and you're definitely taking the country in the right direction. So yeah, guys, you know, do I think that this might be a start of a new trend now, and does this show that maybe Western artists and even mainstream Western artists are maybe going to start coming back to Russia now once again? I don't really think so, and also, I do think that maybe more artists will come to Russia now. But once again, these will be the artists that are not, you know, top of the shelf. And obviously, every single one of these artists that goes to Russia is going to have to deal with some hate. Obviously, this person is gonna get a big influx of Russian fans and so on, appreciating what is done, but also, you will get a lot of people from the West, from Ukraine and so on, calling you out and saying that you're essentially being a terrible person by going and performing in Russia, right? So, if the question is, will more artists start going to Russia? My answer is maybe, but only if they're prepared to deal with the backlash and with the hate, because that's just something that you have to expect when you go to a country that is waging an aggressive war. But yeah guys, other than that, I guess that is going to be pretty much it for today's video though. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the humiliation rituals of falling off rappers who now go to Russia. It's absolutely hilarious, and again guys, Tyga sells out a 14,000 seat venue in Moscow. If this is not proof that Russia is living in like a parallel universe, I don't know what is. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you guys did enjoy it. If you guys did, then please make sure to slap the like on this video. And also guys, as always, if you'd like to support me additionally, and that is financially, then go over to the link down in the description and become a YouTube member or buy me a coffee. It's the best way to support me. It helps me out a lot. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'm gonna see you